Calling all my fellow nerds, LEGO is about to release an entire collection of Dungeons & Dragons themed minifigures, and we get the first shot at opening them up right now. Let's do it. First things first, big thank you to the LEGO group for sending these my way to review. I have been so excited for this Dungeons & Dragons minifigure series since it was first started rumored, and now it is here, and I am so excited. Let's open them up. So if you watched my last video, we kind of know what to expect with some of these characters based on the box art, but I don't know what's actually inside any of these boxes, and I can't use my app scanner that I normally would use if I was buying these in store because they're unreleased, and so they don't scan yet. And I'm just really hoping that LEGO sent me one of each. So let's do it. Let's open them up and find out what I got. Okay, first one. Whew, big day. What do we got? Ooh, the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer is such a cool one. We got this awesome new molded head for the Mind Flayer. It's kind of like a Cthulhu looking guy. And we got this awesome little intellect devourer on the side. If you're unfamiliar with Dungeons & Dragons, the Mind Flayer is an enemy that you can come across. It's got some crazy psychic mind control abilities. You don't want to mess with these guys unless you're pretty strong. So we are starting off strong. Mind Flayer and intellect devourer. Absolutely. Yes. All right, 1 out of 12 down. Let's see what's next. The Aarakocra Ranger. Ooh, you know what I also noticed is that the base plates have these cool little stone printing on them. Gives it kind of a Dungeons & Dragons kind of vibe, right? So for all my non-D&D players out there, the Aarakocra are a race of like bird people kind of things. And this one happens to be a ranger. You know, they usually use bow and arrows. They're really good with animals, nature, survival, that kind of stuff. And they often have animal companions like this one that has his little dog. All right, 2 for 2. Let's keep it going. Our next one is, ooh, we got our dwarf barbarian. And I can confirm now that they are giving us multiple head options, so you can swap between male and female genders with your minifigs. And he or she has got a torch and a battle axe. I'm really liking the detailed printing on this. We've got sidearm printing with like some fur. We've got back printing with like a little water flask back there. If this is the level of detail that we're gonna get on all these characters, I think this is gonna go really well. All right, that makes 3. For number 4, we have got the Tiefling Sorcerer. Okay, we're doing good. I think that LEGO might have sent me one of each, which would be fantastic. So again, for those unfamiliar with Dungeons & Dragons, the Tiefling are a race that you would probably think of as like demonish kind of people. They've got horns on their heads, they've got tails, and this one is a sorcerer, again with very cool printing and everything on the outfit. And this one, for their accessory, gets a little dragon companion. Got a cool little magic thing. I'm guessing this is the piece for magic missile since we get 3 little shots coming out there. And again, an alternate head so you can have the female or the male option. And inside box number 5, we've got Zaz-Tam. So Zaz-Tam is a pretty famous enemy in the Dungeons & Dragons world. He's a lich. He's basically a super powerful necromancer. Ooh, and he comes with an excellent little cape. He's a strong magic guy who basically has an army of undead doing his bidding. He's a cool villain and makes a very cool minifigure. Okay, there's number 5. Number 6 gives us Tasha. Now, Tasha is a pretty famous character in Dungeons & Dragons, not necessarily because you'll encounter her very often, but because there are some spells named after her, such as Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which is one reason I love the fact that they gave her such a maniacal laughing face for this character. And they printed up the spell book to have Tasha's Hideous Laughter symbols in there as well. Tasha is a complicated character, basically a really powerful witch, fae. So yeah, cool that they included her. All right, 6 out of 6, halfway done. It does look like LEGO didn't give me any duplicates, which is fantastic. So let's keep going with number 7. All right, here we have got our, what I am assuming is an elf bard. If you saw the Dungeons & Dragons movie that came out recently, Chris Pine's character was a bard. They use performance and song and poetry and those kind of things as their form of magic. So this little bard's got a lute, but you know, he's also got a sword because bards aren't completely helpless. And they gave this bard a nice little singing face. We got some nice printing on the minifigure, a nice looking little vest, a little pouch pocket up front there. And we do get an alternate face option for a female character. All right, and number 8 gives us, oh, this one is Strahd. Strahd is another one of our famous villains in Dungeons & Dragons. He is a vampire that is pretty powerful, and there are several campaigns and adventures that are pretty well known written about Strahd. We get one side of his face that's kind of normal looking, and then the back side of his face is like a really fierce vampire look, so I'm gonna leave him with that look. He's got a sword and he's got a chalice. Again, a lot of really nice detail printing on the minifigure. I think a lot of people are gonna be wanting to get their hands on this minifigure to do some cool vampire stuff, because that is one of the best LEGO vampires I've seen. Number 9, we are getting, aha! I thought we were gonna get a halfling in here. It looks like this is our halfling druid. Halflings are basically D&D's version of a hobbit without having to pay copyright. Oh, we get a nice dual-sided cape with green on one side and brown on the other, so it's got like an interior lining. Again, we get some cool printing with options for either a male or a female face. Let's do a female druid this time. A very cool new hood helmet piece with these little antlers on it. A staff that's very large for her considering she's a halfling. And a little bird. So druids are really known for like nature magic. They're very connected to animals, plants, all those kind of things. So there we have our halfling druid. Number 10 is going to be the Lady of Pain. Now, the Lady of Pain is a famous D&D character, but not one that you're likely to actually encounter in a game. She's basically known for having ruled over a city called Sigil, and very few ever encountered her, and so not much is known about who she actually is, other than the fact that she's not human. And despite her name being called the Lady of Pain, she wasn't actually like a malicious or evil ruler. She was just really concerned with maintaining order and balance in her city. So again, a famous D&D character, not one that many people are likely to actually encounter, as she's basically a god. And one that, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much use I'll get out of this minifig. It does have a very cool mask, but most of the other famous characters like Strahd and Tasha and Zastan, you could still use those minifigures for other characters. This one, I don't know what you would do with this other than use it as the Lady of Pain. So cool minifigure, maybe not quite as useful in an actual campaign setting though. Okay, 2 more. Number 11. Here we have got our Githyanki Warlock. Now, in Dungeons & Dragons, the Githyanki are basically like space pirates who are also psychic. They are described as having like yellow and greenish skin, which is why when I saw the picture of this for the first time and I saw the yellow face, I was just like, oh, look, a minifigure. Because, you know, minifigs are usually yellow. Didn't really hit me. So I kind of wish that they had made his skin more like pale greenish almost instead of the yellow color. Because to me, yellow just reads as minifig skin and not as like a separate color, if that makes sense. But we do get some cool little accessories. We got this cool knife and then this little eyeball on the staff. That eyeball print is going to be showing up in some other mocks. I can tell you that right now. Again, though, very cool outfits, very cool printing. I love all of the backside printing they've got on all these characters. We love a good dual molded leg too. Very cool character, again, with options for male or female. Okay, so that means our last one of the bunch has got to be our Dragonborn. Yeah, here we go, the gold Dragonborn paladin. So Dragonborns are a classic D&D race. They are pretty much exactly what they sound like. They're humanoids, but dragons. We did get a green Dragonborn character in the Red Dragon's Tail set, but now we've got a gold one, so that's cool. And a Dragonborn Paladin is like a really, really classic combo. Looks like he's got a very cool mace weapon. Oh, and we cannot forget about the horns for our Dragonborn. This is cool. This is the only one of the characters that comes with like a full separate heavy armor piece. A lot of the others comes with like capes or shoulder pads or things like that, but this one we get full armor. So there is our lineup. I am so excited to start incorporating some of these minifigures into my D&D sessions. If you've been around my page for a while, you might remember that we did a live stream game campaign of the Red Dragon's Tail, and we are going to be doing another one with some new players who haven't seen it yet. And this time we have a lot more options for what races and classes they can be. One of the really cool things about these minifigures is how swappable and customizable they are. As we've already mentioned, a lot of them come with different head options so you can swap between different genders. But also one thing you'll notice is that all of the hands for the minifigures are color-coded to match their outfits, not their heads. So you can swap the heads between different bodies. So if you want like a Dragonborn bard instead of a paladin, you can swap those heads and the hands or skin tones won't clash or anything. So a lot of really cool, fun, very customizable options here. They're going to be a lot of fun in our D&D campaign settings, and I'm so excited to use them. Collect all 12 of the LEGO D&D minifigures available for $5 a piece starting on September 1st.